Now we're going to talk about kind of an underrated group, really, and that's the historically black colleges and universities, and kind of take a look at the prospects there. Emory, I will start with you.
Well, this is one of those seasons where there's good talent, but I thought last year there was an influx, right? Maybe because we saw like the transfer portal and also guys that were entering their fifth year, so you had a bunch of talent. But this year, I was on the call for the Norfolk State Virginia State game in the opener. If you guys remember that, that was that wild finish of a college football game where the extra point got blocked and all kind of craziness happened, right? But I remember pregame, I'm on the field talking with the coaches, and I was just blown away at how large Virginia State's offensive line was. And this is a Division II program. They look like an FBS program with the size. Matthew Foster was the tackle that really stood out because he got long arms, active hands. He's 6'5", 310, had a really good HBCU Legacy Bowl, so he was able to work himself really well against offensive line, defensive pass rush. And to his credit, there weren't a lot of size at the HBCU Legacy Bowl on the defense side of the ball, so he had to really work against shorter, smaller, quicker edge guys, and he was able to hold his own. I just want him to activate his hands a little bit more, be a little bit more urgent in that regard, because you got the length, you got the quickness, you got the ability to lock out and extend. Just get your hands on him quicker. But he's someone that looks the part, definitely plays the part. He was a CIAA Offensive Lineman of the Year back in 2022, and he was someone that held his own against Norfolk State. And I was glad to see him get into that postseason All-Star game at the end.
Well, I think Josh took a page out of Emory's book, because you have you have another Virginia State player here, Josh, as a guy to watch out for.
Yeah, I'm actually going to double dip. I'm going to go ahead and go with both of them because I know we got one more topic we want to get to. I'm going to start with Willie Drew, the cornerback from Virginia State. Went to the NFL Combine, measured 6 foot 191, but more notably, he had 32-inch arms, which is pretty long for a cornerback, especially one that's potentially going to be drafted on day 3. Where that helps you at the next level is when you are beaten. Suddenly that recovery, the window that the opposing quarterback has, gets a little bit smaller because those long arms are able to get up there and break up that ball at the catch point. Ran a 4.46 at the NFL Combine. He had a 1.49 10-yard split. So a player, again, that has a lot of potential athletically. Thought he needs a little bit more refinement in terms of his skill is concerned, which I think, as Emory noted, is kind of a similar characteristic of most of these guys. Because the other guy I had was edge rusher Sundiata Anderson, who I know Emory is a big fan of, athletic freak in this class, but somebody you really want to see use his hands a little bit better, deconstruct blocks, develop more pass rush moves so he creates more of a pass rush plan to get after the quarterback. But when you're talking about what he was able to accomplish athletically, he had a 38.5-inch vertical jump and a 10'3" broad jump at 6'5", 240 pounds. So this is a guy that's jumping out of the gym both vertically and broadly and using that to get after the quarterback. So I think when teams are looking for a player with developmental pass rush skills, he's going to be somebody that is at the top of the list as we start getting towards the end of this draft and potentially just trying to fill out the undrafted free agency roster.
All right, Emory, I'm going to come back to you for one more. And then after you give us your last guy, do you think any of the 4 guys that we just mentioned will get drafted?
It's going to be tough, man, because there's a lot of talent at the top this year at all of these positions. But I look at Mikey Victor of Alabama State. He's 6'2", about 215, 220. Physical press corner, had a great week at the Hula Bowl, got the call up to the East-West Shrine Bowl, and did well there. Some people may see him as a safety. I see him as a boundary corner because of how physical he is. He's a great open field tackler. I don't think we'll see maybe 2 HBCU prospects get drafted this season.